friends, this is the Mrs. Wolfie from our Half Acre Homestead. I thought I would make something semi-fussy for dinner. And so what we're going to make, now I'm going to tell you right off the bat, you can make this without egg and without meat. So that if you want, if you subscribe to Meatless Fridays or Meatless Good Friday, then you can leave out the bacon. But what you're going to need is you're going to need 6 good sized raw potatoes, a head of broccoli, an egg, which you don't need, some potato starch, because this will also work for my gluten-free friends if you don't use cornstarch, and you don't need cornstarch if you have potato starch. You're going to need some cheese, and you're going to need a greased or buttered muffin tin. So what we're going to make is broccoli, bacon, and cheese baskets. Now, like I said, if you subscribe to Meatless Fridays, you go ahead and leave the bacon out. This will work just fine with the broccoli and the cheese. So, but we're going to make these out of, we're going to make the cups, they're like a little quiche cup, but we're going to make them out of potato. And if you don't want to use an egg, I'm going to use an egg just in case anything leaks. But if you don't want to use an egg, all you have to add is the cornstarch and the oil. But I'll show you that in a minute. Now, the reason I have this like this is because I'm going to grate my potatoes. And of course, I'm going to allow the water and starch to come out the bottom so I can dehydrate it later. So that I'll replace what I used today. All right. First off, we're going to grate half the potatoes with the big side of the cheese grater. Now, the reason I'm doing it in 2 sizes is so that it makes a better mesh. When the potato gets really small, you just flip it over and use the little one, and they'll fill in the holes. Angus, you don't like raw potato. Do you want a piece of raw potato? You don't like, oh, you do. Okay, well, have at her. Okay, so I'm going to take the smaller potato and grate the small side. Now, like I said, this is something you can have and bake and then put in the fridge later. Now, I'm just going to take some of my water that I had my potatoes soaking in, and I'm just going to slightly rinse these potatoes just to get the starch off them. Let's just squeeze these out, because you really don't want a lot of water in these. I think we're going to have a nice batch of potato starch for dehydrating here, that's for sure. Alrighty, first and foremost, we have our 12 buttered muffin cups. Oops. Now, we're just going to take our potatoes and we're just going to drop them in with the egg, and we're going to add about a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of salt and about a half a teaspoon of black pepper. Now, like I said, folks, you do not need to add egg. This can be vegetarian, I'm sorry, vegan because, not vegan because I'm going to have cheese in it, unless you want to fill it with something else. If you want the vegan, gluten-free shells, you don't have to add the egg, just add a little bit of sunflower oil, and I almost forgot, we want about a tablespoon of not cornstarch. We want a tablespoon of potato starch, because this will also help it thicken and bind together. If you don't want to use the egg, just use the potato starch and a little bit of oil. We're going to make our baskets. Let's make sure this is really well mixed. And we're just going to put a spoon, and we're going to like half fill your muffin tin. And then we're just going to take our fingers and very carefully bring them up to a dish. Now, as you can see, I have some left over. So, guess what? But I am going to put this in a buttered pie plate. And I'm going to bake the shell for a quiche for a later date. Okay, I'm going to put these in the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. This one's going to take longer, only because I'm baking this one to completion. These ones I'm going to fill halfway through the baking process. All right, we'll be back. Okay, now we're going to fill our cups. Now these just came fresh out of the oven. And so this pan is quite hot. Now, I would have baked these longer if I was just making the shells, okay? So, but I'm not. I'm going to be putting these back in the oven for dinner. Ouch. It's hot. So, what I have here is I have some diced onion, some shredded cheese, some cooked and crumbled bacon, and some chopped and rinsed broccoli florets. Now we're going to start. Let's start with a little bit of bacon. And it's important that the bacon be cooked and drained so that it doesn't leave any greasy residue with your cups. Now we're going to add, and these broccoli florets can be, you want them fairly small because these are individual sizes. Okay, so now we have some broccoli florets in there. Okay, and like I said, if you wanted to do this for a Good Friday or a meatless Friday dish, just leave out the bacon. A little bit of onion, because like I told Chef Michael Smith with his bacon and cheese potato pie, bacon, cheese, and potato just does not go good without some onion. You gotta have some onion in there. Now we're going to take some of our grated cheese and we're just going to put that right on top, trying not to hit the edge of the muffin tin, because if you hit the edge of the muffin tin, what do you want? If you hit the edge of the muffin tin, it's going to stick. So let's just mound it on top and hopefully it'll melt in. I think these also would make a great breakfast. I'm not kidding. You think about this. You got cheese, you got potatoes, you got bacon. Oh, what if we cracked an egg in there, Angus? And you know what? I shouldn't have used all my bacon up. But we'll save it. We'll save the broccoli and cheese and that, and we'll do something else with it. Maybe I'll have it for lunch. Here we go. One piece of cheese. Now I'm going to put these back in the 350 degree oven for another 20 minutes. All right, we'll be back when they come out of the oven and we'll try one. Here is our broccoli, cheese, bacon baskets, fresh from the oven. And let's try our bacon, broccoli, cheddar. I want to try and get a little bit of everything on here. It's hot. Oh, it's so good. The combination of the bacon, the broccoli, the potato, and the cheese is just phenomenal. So you were away when I made my bacon cheese tarts, but you got them cold the next day. How were they cold?
Very good.
Yeah, you enjoyed them?
Yes.
Should I make some more?
Yes.
This is the Mrs. Wolfie from our half-acre homestead saying, hot or cold, this stuff is gold.